back with another video. And in this video, we're going to be talking about what business should you build? Are you building a business for you? Are you building a business for the persons that's watching you on Instagram or Facebook? Or are you building a business that maybe one of your parents told you to build in life? Or what I'm saying is, who has the influence over you? What has the influence over you that's influencing the type of business that you build? We're going to talk about that today while we take a ride to the mechanic shop. And we're going to talk about some things. Kick back, sit back, and enjoy the video, because I'm going to be dropping some gems, some wisdom, some business wisdom for you of those that's starting out or that's in that building phase. Let's check it out. We're on the way to check on a truck for a client. And it made me think that a lot of people in this industry, they don't really know how to come up with a very good offer, and they create the offer, turn it down a little bit. They create the offer more based off of what social media says to do, instead of creating a great offer for the client, which in return benefits you in a way that you would love it to benefit you. For example, a lot of people, they have some guys that they get emotional behind freight brokers, and they're like, oh man, the freight broker's making all the money and I should be a freight broker. But in reality, they really love trucking and they want to own a truck or multiple trucks, and they love dealing with equipment. They love working on it. They love having drivers. Like they love that. They love that type of business. They wind up being a freight broker, and they get into freight brokering, and now they have to learn sales. They have to talk to people on the phone. They have to learn how to cold email, cold text message. They have to network. They have to be more professional. They have to create content. They have to go on LinkedIn. They have to, all of these different things. And they realize, I didn't really want to be a freight broker. I just love trucking. So allow this pain of them being mad at freight brokers, because in their mind, the freight brokers is the one taking all the money, and that's just not true. I know that some people might disagree with me, but it's just not true. So they go open up this company, and they shouldn't have done that. Some of them might want to be a freight dispatcher because they've driven trucks for many years, and they're like, oh man, the freight dispatcher's making good money, and they gave it to work from home and blah, 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 blah. And then they go start a freight dispatching company, not realizing it's not too much different than a freight broker. You have to market. You have to do all of these things I just named before, which could be marketing through Facebook, marketing through text messaging, marketing through email, creating content, doing all these things to get clients, and could take weeks and weeks or months and months to do, by the way, without making money. But when you are on an operator, or you're leased on to a company as an operator, guess what? You make money the very first week that you start. Now, yes, you have to do the startup costs. You have to get the truck. You have to get the trailer. And most places right now, they're doing lease to purchase or just straight lease. And you can just get in the game, and then within the next 1 to 2 weeks, 3 weeks max, you'll make your first $2,000 to $4,000 or $2,000 to $5,000 bring home check. That's not the case when you're starting out being a freight dispatcher or freight broker. So, a lot of people, they get into this and driven by the wrong things, and they're motivated by the wrong things, instead of building a business for you that you want to do, you like to do. I'm not saying that you're going to like it all of the time, or that you're going to be excited about it all of the time, but it's like, hey, as long as it's steady going towards your end goal, then stick with it, keep pushing, and go all in on it. For example, I'm going to tell you my model. For those of you that watch my content, you know that I have been in the trucking industry over 20 years. I have built up authorities. I've done freight brokering and done freight dispatching. I currently own a freight dispatching company. I really don't call it a freight dispatching company because I do a lot more than just freight dispatching. I handle all of the logistics. I handle the marketing. I have network of mechanics, freight brokering. I have a very special premium offer. It's not just a dispatch company per se. And I also do coaching as well, which I'm going more into now in this upcoming season. And I got rid of all my trucks. Now, one would say, why would you do that? I did that because I'm building something that's fit for more of my lifestyle at 37 years old and the type of lifestyle that I want to live. One thing is, I done 20 years, and even before the 20 years of me doing this, I also grew up in my family, and that's what my father and my grandfather did. They always had trucks and drove trucks. I've driven a truck. I've worked in a mechanic shop. I actually started out in a mechanic shop, by the way. I've changed tires, changed brakes, changed parts, worked on trucks, lived in the truck, slept in the truck, ate out the truck, cooked in the truck. Like, when I say lived in a truck, meaning I actually lived in a truck. Not went on the road for a little while, no, I'm talking about that was my home. So I know it all, ran authority, hired drivers, had drivers, all that, the whole nine. I did it for years, and in its season, it worked for me, and I liked it. I loved it at times, and I hated it at times. In the season that I'm in and where I'm going towards, I'm working to where I have a 100% full online business, right? Now, I want to be able to work from my laptop, which I have it right here in my car with my mount and everything, and my handy-dandy cell phone. I'm not looking to deal with equipment anymore. I don't want the phone calls about equipment breaking. I don't want to pay the high bills. I don't want to have to drive somewhere. I don't want to have to fly somewhere and pick up a truck because someone left the truck. I don't want to fly someone else out, right? Now, the flip side to that is I have to deal with the pain of marketing, learning new skills, learning and knowing how to deal with things online, creating content to get clients. I have to constantly learn more and to provide a whole lot more. What's that next pickup is? Got a driver now texting me. Thought I sent it to you. Simple. This is what I want to do. I want to, send him his load, which is work from the. So I have to constantly be in this other field, and that is an element of any trucking business. But a lot of trucking businesses, especially running spot market freight, they don't really truly understand that marketing is a big deal for their business. What happens is the load boards spoil them, and they get used to just going on the load board, and they don't understand that's not really the first thing that they really should do. But so they never really market their business, and if they do, they think that they're marketing their business, but they're really not. They're doing it a little bit. So they never get their own customers, get direct freight, get premium loads that's gonna pay good money. So they actually get stuck on a load board, and that's why a lot of them go out of business. That's a whole nother conversation. So I see all the time people jump around. I want to buy a truck. For instance, I got a guy in my school program. He started out doing a freight dispatching. Now he messaged me and said, "Hey man, do you know any good schools to go to get my CDLs?" I'm like, CDLs? He like, "Yeah man, I want to be a truck driver and then get into heavy hauling." I'm like, "Oh, okay, got it." I said, "Well, what happened to the freight dispatch?" He was like, "Man, it's hard for me to get clients," and it's not. He just quit. And I'm not talking about the brother because he's pretty cool, but he just quit. Like, he's gonna go through the same pain getting the CDLs and then have to get a job with no experience and put in work with that. So more of my story is this: whatever you pick to be a truck driver, an operator, a fleet owner, a freight dispatcher, a broker, guess what? You're still going to have to go through a season and an amount of time of pain to get to where you want to be. So if you're going to go through that pain, I would just sit down, analyze what are the pros and cons, what are you willing to deal with, what are you willing not to deal with, and long term, how do you want this business to be? Because some people, they want a brick and mortar, meaning they would like a yard with trucks on a yard. They want to look at their trucks. They like to have drivers and people and service the local shippers or non-local shippers. They got people that really like trucks and want to deal with trucks. They got people that want be a one-man army and just be one owner operator, one truck, maybe 1 or 2 trailers, and then that's it. That's good for them. Make them $7 to $10 grand a week, and they're good. But they got some people that want to be a freight dispatcher, and it's just them. They get them 5 to 10 clients, making anywhere from $2 to $5 grand a week. Yes, you can make that if you know what you're doing and you're dispatching the right type of equipment, and you have the right marketing systems in place to fill up your pipeline and keep it going. But some people want to be a broker. They love sales. They love sales. They love sales. They love to get on that computer and market and stuff like that, but they never want to drive a truck. Some people want to drive the truck with the big shifter sitting up tall, 18 speed, going up and down the mountains and pulling loads. What I'm saying is, which one do you want to do? Which one would you like to do? Which one could you see yourself going long term, going through the pain and dealing with the pain from growth, from growing, and from learning how to do whatever it is that you need to do in your niche in order to be successful long term. Weekly wisdom. This is what I would say. Sit down, get a pen and pencil, get in a quiet room, don't have no distractions, don't have nothing on, no music, not loud. If you could do it early in the morning or you could do it late at night, just do it to where you have no distractions, no nothing. And what you do is write down the next 20 years of your life, or 10 years of your life, or 5 years, or even 3. If you got to go down to 1, I know that's a big range. The reason why I'm saying it is because of this. Some people, it's hard for them to think long term, and that's okay right now. So just make a short-term goal. You got an idea of what type of life that you want to live. I'm 37. When I was 20, 21, that was a totally different life that I wanted to live, and I was thinking different. So I wasn't really thinking about what type of life I wanted to live at 40. I was thinking about, I just want to make money right now and live my life right now. Okay, cool. If that's how you're thinking, well, write out the next 2 years. As for me, at 37 with 3 kids and the type of life that I've built for myself, I have my daughter in the back seat. We're riding. We're going to go check on her truck, and we're going to chill. I like to be with my kids more. I like to be available to do the things that I want to do. I'm not really tripping on being home. I just don't want to be locked into something. I like the new stuff that's going on the internet. I just want to work from the internet. So that's me. But at 20, 21, 22, 23 years old, I cared nothing about that type of stuff. I wanted to drive a truck, and I like the truck. So once again, write down your goals. I would say a minimum of at least 5 years, and go from there. Once you write that down, then figure out what's the best, but write down the lifestyle. Write down in the next 5 years what type of house that you want, what type of car that you want, or what type of wife or husband that you want. Do you want to travel? Do you not? What type of, how much money you want to make, how much you want to work for that money, how many days you want off a week. Do you want real estate? Do you don't? Write down these type of things, and then you reverse engineer it, and then you like, okay, to get these type of things, this is what I'm going to have to do. And when you write down those cars, remember, it's like a 5-year goal. When you write down those cars, go look them up and see how much they cost. When you write down that house, go look it up and see how much that costs. Go see where the neighborhood is at. where this house would be at. See how much it costs. Get an idea of what that type of mortgage would look like. Figure out what type of schools that you want your kids to go to. Or if you don't have kids, well, guess what? That's not even gonna be on the list. So you get where I'm coming from. Write these things down, and then when you look at it, it's like, okay, what do I really want to, how do I do this? How do I succeed at this? How am I able to actually get this done in a way that I'm okay with doing? I'm not saying it's gonna be easy, but just something that you wouldn't quit doing. If someone said that you would have to work on a ship, a foreign ship that you don't know the language, and you would have to go across seas and work in the oil field 1 year at a time, but they'll give you $100,000, you probably would say no. But if it's like, hey, you can make $100,000 and you can work 5 days a week driving a truck, you probably would say yes. Or you can work from your laptop, you probably would say yes. So I say that to say, the reason why I'm saying that is because don't always look for, well, I gotta make this amount of money, I gotta make this amount of money, because you probably won't do the thing that actually it would take to get that amount of money. And you might change your mind, and you don't want to change your mind once you start at something and now you got to quit and start over and you quit and start over and you quit. Most entrepreneurs, they get reassurance in this, they get re-excited when they quit something and they start a new thing, and they quit something and they start a new thing. So it's every time they start the new thing, they will get excited all over again. And when that happens, they think, oh, I'm started this new thing and blah, 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 blah. And then guess what? Once that new thing gets hard for them, it becomes the old thing. And when that comes the old thing, they don't want to do no thing anymore. I hope this video helps you. I just pulled up at the mechanic shop. Let me check on this truck, and I will see y'all in the next video. All right? Peace.